make you go.
Keep up, I'm too fast, push my foot up on that pedal, then I'm gone. Keep up on my track, boy, I dust to keep my numbers going strong.
Sure, it's a common notion, perpetual in motion, but I don't need the comfort of any lies. Right.
With just a few words, Baki completely shattered Oliva's pride. Moments ago, Baki decided he wanted to become the third man in this prison who couldn't be contained. So he called over a nearby guard and knocked him out with lightning speed. The prison alarm blared to life, and every guard went into battle-ready mode. But guns were completely useless against Baki. Using his incredible agility, he easily dodged the bullets and took down 3 guards without breaking a sweat. Baki fished the keys off their bodies, but just as he kicked through the iron door and prepared to leave, the warden was already waiting for him outside. Armed personnel surrounded him from all sides, but Baki remained completely calm. He slowly walked up to the warden, and in the next instant, the warden's sunglasses suddenly shattered. Turns out that as Baki approached the warden, he'd moved at such incredible speed that he destroyed the sunglasses while also casually plucking the buttons off the other guards' uniforms. Baki announced that he could have taken everyone out in a single moment. The warden broke out in a cold sweat. Baki took the warden hostage and headed toward the exit. He'd successfully become the third man in the prison who couldn't be held. But in the next second, Baki decided to go back inside. That's when Oliva showed up on a motorcycle. He was about to teach this arrogant punk a lesson he'd never forget, because he wouldn't allow anyone in this prison to be more free than him. He had the guards remove Baki's handcuffs, but Baki just broke out of them himself. He was furious because just a few days ago, Oliva had fought Gavel, and Baki figured Oliva must be exhausted right now. Baki told Oliva to go grab something to eat first before coming back. That comment hit Oliva's pride hard. The veins on his body bulged incredibly, and a powerful aura radiated from him. Just when the guards thought the fight was about to begin, Oliva suddenly suppressed his rage and calmed down. He felt that as the king of this prison, he couldn't just fight anyone on a whim. After leaving, Oliva changed clothes and showed up at his girlfriend Maria's door with flowers. He checked his watch 3 minutes until their date. He stood there perfectly straight at her door. Even though he and Maria had been in love for over a decade, to Oliva, every day felt like they'd just gotten together. The moment 3 minutes passed, Oliva knocked on Maria's door right on time. When Maria held out her fist, Oliva knew exactly what she wanted and played rock paper scissors with her. Yet no matter how many times they played, Oliva always lost. Every time, he'd start by holding out 3 fingers, then quickly change after seeing Maria's open palm, making sure he lost to her. Oliva wasn't just the freest man in the world, he was also the best man. Love isn't just about appreciating someone's appearance, it's about 2 hearts that can't live without each other. With just a few words, Baki completely shattered Oliva's pride. Moments ago, Baki...
Yes! Oh, der Heilige blüht ein kleines Blühlein. Jetzt! Oh!
Bongo la. Bongo la. Bongo la. Bongo la.
My word is M-I-N-D-S. Mines.
Oh, mines. You got no M. Green eye. Green N.
What?
No D, no S. Yeah, come on. Let's see, Kribus.
M-I-N-E-S. I'm in a mines.
Bro, I just put M at the start.
Blah, 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 blah.
You
Wait.
didn't get anything.
Finge. Fingy.
Bingy. No F, no G, no E.
No!
P-I-N-O-Y. Pinoy.
Ooh. No P,
Good
no O.
No.
Y.
Sheep, watch this. I got this. This word relates to someone who's missing right now. T-I-N-Y over here. Tiny. And I couldn't think of a last letter, so tinies.
Oh my
Like
gosh,
tiny,
Allie.
like
This
tiny
is your
Mac
best
Dude.
guess. Green. And wrong.
Oh, I got this. Okay. Tiny. What? What? Wait. Cheap.
Yeah?
One sec. Empty.
You win!
My word is M-I-N-D-S. Mines.
Oh. My first guess is Diamond Brock Estabrock.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah?
All wrong.
What? Are you kidding me? My next guess is a golden pickaxe. Okay. I think it's pretty good.
It is really good if you like all red.
What? My third guess is a bed. Okay? A bed. Because I sleep in it and I go.
Red. Red.
Alright, Esther. My next guess is the campfire, baby. Oh, yeah.
Oh, not bad.
Oh, wait. That's a yellow?
Red.
Okay. You know what? I'll take that right there. Okay, my next guess is a smoker. There's no furnace, but I'm assuming you thought of this.
Oh, not bad. Yellow.
Ooh.
Red.
Okay. So it's still yellow, and it's not there. What could it be? Alright, Esther. It's gotta be the wood. The 4-block wood thing. What do you think?
Oh, green.
Oh.
Red.
Wait, why? What? Okay, let me put the 4 blocks here, and then what is it now?
Buddy, green.
Yeah?
Red.
What could this be? Are you serious? If it's this, Esther, I'm done. That's my guess.
Cheap.
Yeah?
You got it.
My first guess is Diamond.
This video is exact.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cute. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. But you gotta make your own kind of music. But you gotta make your own kind of music.
A man was so frustrated with his useless spoon that he straight up bent it into a fork with his bare hands. But even with a stunt that crazy, everyone around him stays completely stone-faced. Because in Cable's world, that's child's play. With just a flick of his wrist, Cable warps the spoon like it's nothing. This is Penitentiary Island, the most heavily secured maximum security prison in the world. Every inmate here has to line up for roll call, no exceptions, not even the newly arrived Baki. But during the guard's briefing, Baki notices something shocking. Cable is yawning casually and strutting right past the guards like he owns the place. That's because Cable has earned the nickname number 2. He's the second man in this prison who simply simply cannot be contained. The first? That would be Oliva, the freest man on earth. When lunch rolls around, only Cable gets to enjoy actual decent food. He spots flies buzzing around, so he casually grabs a guard's pistol and presses it against his own head, a move so reckless the guards are too terrified to even speak. This is Cable's privilege, but some inmates think they can challenge him for it. Standing before him is an undefeated sumo champion, a massive guy who figures his size advantage will let him crush Cable easily. During lunch, he decides to provoke him, casually bending an iron spoon into a fork. But when Cable flicks his spoon, it warps instantly. Feeling disrespected, the sumo wrestler flips the whole table, spraying food all over Cable. The guards rush over to stop things, but Cable takes a guard's pistol and hands it to the wrestler, daring him to shoot him in the head. The wrestler's furious. He pulls the trigger, but in that split second, Cable kicks him flat on his back. The wrestler drops to his knees, screaming in pain. Getting up, he's still not satisfied. Sumo's his strength, so he challenges Cable to an actual sumo match. As they lock up, the wrestler tries lifting Cable off the ground, but no matter how hard he pushes, Cable doesn't budge. Seeing how weak his opponent is, Cable slaps him across the face so hard the wrestler's eardrums burst instantly. Then Cable yanks out one of his own hairs and jams it into the wrestler's ear. The hair winds around the cochlea, and with one gentle pull, the wrestler crumples. Cable wins. Man was so frustrated with his useless spoon that he straight Before every kill, this man rolls a die. Whatever number comes up, that's how many shots it'll take to eliminate his target. This time, it lands on 4. He chambers around, aims his gun at an empty street, and without hesitation, pulls the trigger. Right on cue, his target walks into view. The first bullet tears through the man's arm, but just as he's about to fire the second shot, the target's partner jumps in and blocks it. The assassin had calculated a perfect 4-shot takedown, but now his plan's thrown off by one bullet. He decides to retreat and regroup. Lupin and his crew seize the chance to escape back to their hideout. Jigen stares at the bullet in his hand and instantly recognizes the shooter's identity. This same bullet had killed someone he'd sworn to protect years ago. Furious, Jigen decides it's time to strike back. The two sneak into the assassin's room, but it's empty. Suddenly, the man appears behind them, yet he doesn't ambush them. Instead, he challenges Jigen to a one-on-one duel. The match begins. Jigen reaches for his gun first, but shockingly, his opponent is faster. One shot sends Jigen's weapon flying. Lupin can't believe it. Jigen, the fastest draw he knows, just got beaten at his own game. Turns out the assassin's pistol is custom modified, lighter weight, faster fire rate. The only reason Jigen's still breathing? The 4-shot count is 1 bullet short. Lupin grabs Jigen and they bolt, but the hitman's right on their heels. And he didn't just mod his gun, he souped up his car too. He unleashes a Gatling gun, raining hell down on them. Backed into a corner, they watch as the assassin sets up a sniper rifle from the high ground, scope locked on their hiding spot. Lupin makes a split-second call, run for the other side. But the moment they leap, the assassin predicts their move and fires. The bullet punches clean through Jigen's skull. Watching his best friend collapse right in front of him, Lupin's heart fills with vengeance. Thanks to the killer's 1 target per day rule, Lupin barely escapes with his life. The next day, the assassin claims the high ground on a rooftop, waiting patiently for Lupin to show. He rolls the die. It lands on 1. A cold laugh escapes his lips. He raises his rifle, lines up the shot, and squeezes the trigger. The bullet launches like a missile, but it misses. Instead, a round tears into the assassin's own chest. He whips around in shock. Jigen, who should be dead, is standing there alive. Confused, the hitman hears Lupin's voice crackle through his earpiece. Turns out, during that first sniper attack, they'd noticed something off. After digging deeper, they discovered the assassin's targeting system was synced directly to the city's entire surveillance network. So they planted a 0.5-second delay into the camera feeds, throwing off his shot precision. As for Jigen's headshot, blood pack, the whole thing was staged. For every kill, this man rolls a die. This is a pool designed to test martial prowess. If you can strike the water hard enough to make the splash reach the opposite shore, you earn the right to become a Sea King. But by the end of the exam, not a single candidate passed. The master was furious, and the trembling 8-year-olds stood there terrified. Yet the master didn't scold them. Instead, he walked up to the pool and struck with all his might. Strangely, though, not even a ripple appeared on the surface. Just as everyone began to doubt the master's abilities, a massive wave suddenly surged from within the pool. Right as the wave was about to reach the far shore, Retsu threw a punch of his own, creating another enormous wave. The 2 water columns collided head-on, and the sheer force of the impact shattered the entire pool. Retsu angrily demanded to know why the master wouldn't let him take the exam. Without answering his challenge, the master led him into a cave. They walked deeper and deeper until they reached a sealed chamber. The master told Retsu that behind this door lay the answer to why he couldn't become a Sea King. He placed his palm against the massive iron door, tensed every muscle in his body, and gradually applied pressure. The 100-ton door began to bend and warp under his hand until snap, the bolt broke. Beyond the door was an enormous cavern. 40 years ago, a man had carved it out with his bare hands. The reason Retsu couldn't become a Sea King was simple. He wasn't strong enough yet. Enraged, Retsu demanded to know where this man was now. The master replied that he was long gone and that the man who had punched through the mountain was none other than the death row convict Dorian. Years later, Retsu finally came face to face with the legendary Sea King Dorian. A battle was inevitable. Dorian struck first, but Retsu was faster. With just 1 blow, he took Dorian down. This is a pool designed to test martial prowess. If you can strike a massive poisonous lump swells up on the kid's foot, and with death knocking at his door, he doesn't hesitate. He lifts his foot straight to his mouth and bites down hard, sucking the toxins right out of his body. Not long ago, Baki got blindsided by Ryuko Yanagi's poison hand technique. A huge dose of venom got pumped into his system, causing his abs to cave in and his muscles to waste away. Even Dr. Kureha, Japan's top doctor, couldn't do a thing for him. Just when Baki thought he was done for, Retsukeo knocked him out cold and dragged him all the way to China. Why? Because the century's biggest underground fighting tournament was going down right there, bringing together the world's most lethal fighters. Baki's only shot at survival was to awaken his power during the competition. But even right before the match, he's still coughing up blood. Every single punch he throws pushes his body to the breaking point. Soon enough, Baki steps into the ring, and when the crowd sees his shriveled muscles, they all write him off. No way, this guy's winning. His first opponent? Rikeo, a poison master just like Ryuko Yanagi. But Baki's not backing down. The fight kicks off, and he goes straight on the offensive, landing a kick that floors his opponent. But it's not that simple. In that split second of contact, a huge lump bulges up on the top of Baki's foot. He's been poisoned. Turns out Rikeo's training method is seriously twisted. Every day, he soaks both hands in different poisons. His hands are grotesquely swollen, packed full of deadly venom. And now that poison's coursing through Baki's body. Just when everyone thinks the match is over, Baki lifts his foot and sinks his teeth deep into it, sucking the poison out. But even after that, Baki's body is still in bad shape. The toxins inside him aren't completely gone. Rikeo seizes the moment and unleashes a flurry of poisonous strikes on Baki. In the blink of an eye, he lands over 100 punches. After the assault, Rikeo's fists have actually shrunk, proof that he's injected all his poison into Baki's body. Baki spits up a ton of blood, and toxic fumes start rising from his skin. Furious, Baki wants to end this fight before the poison takes him down. But just as he's about to reach his opponent, blood suddenly erupts from his body, and he collapses to the ground, completely drained. Seeing this, Koja breaks down in tears. But Retsukeo notices something strange. The toxins in Baki's body are disappearing fast. Here's the thing, back in the 15th century, the poison hand technique spread from China to Japan. But what nobody knew was that only the 17 scrolls made it to Japan, just the first half of the art. The other 5 Yang scrolls stayed in China. Ryuko Yanagi had hit Baki with Yin poison, while Rikeo practiced the Yang technique. Now both toxins are inside Baki, Yin and Yang combining and canceling each other out. Suddenly, Baki's body feels incredibly light. His power surges. He blocks every one of Rikeo's attacks without even trying, like he saw it all coming. At the final moment, Baki stops his attack. No question about it, Baki takes the win. As the crowd erupts in applause, Baki gives them a sincere bow. Massive poisonous lump swells up on the kid's foot, and the strongest caveman on earth, Pickle, bolted out in sheer terror, his eyes filled with fear. Just moments ago, Pickle had unleashed a vicious combination attack that knocked Jack unconscious. But as he moved in to devour his prey, Pickle suddenly sensed danger. Playing it safe, he abandoned his meal and retreated to his territory. It turned out Pickle had just remembered an enemy from his younger days, a tiny yellow jacket. After messing with it for a while, he crushed the annoying bug and swallowed it whole. But that honey-sweet taste in his mouth quickly turned into pure hell, like a volcano erupting inside his mouth. Pickle thrashed around until he couldn't move anymore. A single wasp had caused him the worst pain of his entire life. From that moment on, the idea that some things don't truly die even after death was burned into Pickle's mind. The organizer approached to check on Jack's condition, reaching out to touch his body. But the next second, the organizer froze in shock. Jack's middle fingers had instantly crossed together. In other words, if Pickle had touched him then, the tide of battle could have turned in an instant. Jack was quickly rushed to the hospital for treatment. While the doctors were discussing his injuries, a nurse announced that Jack had mysteriously vanished. Right then, the freshly awakened Jack showed up at Pickle's territory, apologizing for leaving mid-fight. Then he launched another attack on Pickle. Pickle was too terrified to fight back. In all his past battles, any creature he defeated stayed down for good. To Pickle, Jack had become something like a ghost. The unknown scared him. It was just his nature. But Jack kept pushing him, and finally, as the apex predator of the Jurassic era, Pickle worked up the courage to hit Jack with everything he had. Jack spun through the air and slammed hard into the ground. Jack had been defeated by Pickle twice in one day. When he woke up in bed again, he immediately bolted from the hospital room, ready to continue the fight. But Baki suddenly appeared and stopped him, telling Jack that Pickle was an opponent he couldn't beat. Turns out, after knocking Jack out the second time, Pickle didn't just eat him. Instead, he carefully carried Jack to the rooftop and hung him up with rope the way primitive people stored their food. In other words, Pickle had never seen Jack as an opponent. To him, Jack was just a hearty meal waiting to be eaten. Jack was furious, but there was nothing he could do about it. Strongest caveman on earth, Pickle, bolted out in sheer terror, his eyes filled with fear. Just moments ago, Pickle had unleashed a vicious combination attack that knocked Jack unconscious. But as he moved in to devour his prey, Pickle suddenly sensed danger. Playing it safe, he abandoned his meal and retreated to his territory. It turned out Pickle had just remembered an enemy from his younger days, a tiny yellow jacket. After messing with it for a while, he crushed the annoying bug and swallowed it whole. But that honey-sweet taste in his mouth quickly turned into pure hell, like a volcano erupting inside his mouth. Pickle thrashed around until he couldn't move anymore. A single wasp had caused him the worst pain of his entire entire life. From that moment on, the idea that something Jack Hanma, who possesses the strongest bite force, versus Pickle, the prehistoric man from 200 million years ago who fed on T-Rexes whose bite is truly superior, they open their jaws and lunge at each other, fangs as their ultimate weapons. But as the struggle intensifies, Pickle's raw power advantage starts to show. He clamps down on Jack and starts spinning, using the momentum to hurl him through the air. When Jack gets back on his feet, his entire face has been torn clean off by Pickle, who's now devouring it with gusto. Jack's furious, but instead of being rattled, he's pumped. This is exactly the opponent he's been craving. Right then, Pickle opens wide and charges at Jack again. Jack seizes the moment, landing an uppercut that sends the 400-plus-pound Pickle flying. But the next second, something feels off to Jack. He shattered countless jaws before, but that hit felt like punching a giant. In other words, Jack's full power strike didn't even phase Pickle. Pickle shifts into attack mode and rockets toward Jack with the speed of a missile. Launch the impact rivals a nuclear weapon. But what nobody expects is for Pickle to get bounced back. Jack grabs Pickle's head, determined to prove that modern humans are tougher than these 200-million-year-old primitives. Pickle's briefly knocked out, and Jack takes the opportunity to bite off his ear. That's when Pickle completely loses it. Meanwhile, Jack hasn't grasped how serious this is. He swings another punch at Pickle's vital spot, but to his shock, it whiffs. Pickle hasn't moved, yet the area is filled with thick dust. Jack quickly resets and fires off a vicious roundhouse kick, thinking he's got this in the bag. But again, he hits nothing but air. Pickle suddenly appears right in front of him. Jack's terrified. He has no clue what just happened. Turns out Pickle wasn't standing still at all. The instant before Jack's attacks land, Pickle's been leaping backward to the cage at incredible speed, then using his powerful legs to launch back in Jack's face. Jack's stunned. He never imagined Pickle would be this strong. The pressure's even more intense than facing a T-Rex. Desperate to win, Jack even starts praying to God. But as it turns out, not even Jesus can save him now. Under Pickle's savage combo assault, Jack gets smashed into the cage and knocked completely unconscious. Jack Hanma, who possesses the strongest bite, a man visualizes his body as water. He starts
No one told me she'd be that strong. It's best we retreat now and regroup.
Found you.
No! Impossible!
You will answer the question, or you are going to be eliminated. Your choice.
It is you who will be eliminated, you blithering fool. I am the third most powerful fighter in the House of Evolution. At your power level, you will never beat the Beast King, the second most powerful fighter. You will be destroyed.
Is this the guy you mean? I believe it is.
Hey, look, I'm sorry. I'll tell you everything. Just don't kill me.
Wait, what happened to your high-tech robot voice?
Sorry about that. I was just trying to sound cool.
This is the trap. Let me explain. If you run into the water, you will live. However, if you run and jump into the water, you will slip through and die. So the idea is to get someone to chase you and then run into the lake. Of course, they're gonna jump to try and catch up, and when they jump in, they die. But there's a problem. This trap is very easy to spot. Or is it? Sugarcane naturally spawns near a lake, so we can add our own sugarcane to perfectly mask the trap. That way, when they jump on us, they'll only notice that it's a trap when it's too late. And guess what? There was a streamer in my game, so I made it my objective to trap him. Oh my god, is that the... That's the streamer! That's the streamer! That's him! Here we go. I can trap this guy.
Hit him, please.
He's right behind me. This is perfect. I just need him to keep chasing.
Need stuff for B.
Okay, good. I'm gonna let him get some damage here. Oh my god, it's perfect. I'm almost at the trap.
I need diamonds for Mjolnir.
Okay, go. Please. Oh, I got him! Oh my god!
Oh, shit.
He's alive. Yes! Holy shit!
Of course, he also had drips. I'm like, what?
This is the trap. Let me explain.
To prevent others from seeing his back, even when climbing stairs, the man had to lie flat on the ground. Rohan was burning with curiosity, so he used a trick and managed to see the man's back. But unexpectedly, there was nothing unusual at all. However, the man looked utterly devastated. Just as Rohan was about to comfort him, saying it was fine, the man's back split right open. The exaggerated amount of blood caused the man to collapse and die instantly. Rohan was shocked. This was clearly a stand attack, but when he checked the man's memories earlier, he hadn't found anything unusual. Could the man be a victim? Before he could think further, a strange stand appeared behind Rohan. Rohan immediately summoned Heaven's Door, but the attack missed. It turned out that at some point, the stand had climbed onto Rohan's back again. After a brief probe, Rohan finally understood. This was the consequence of his insistence on seeing the man's back, but Rohan decided to try one more time. He immediately called upon Heaven's Door, intending to alter the stand's memory, but the next moment, cracks actually appeared on Rohan's face. The reason for this was that the stand's user had become Rohan himself. It was a stand with its own consciousness, able to control its abilities freely. Rohan was terrified. He rushed out of the house and started dancing. At that moment, the stand hinted, once someone sees your back, I will leave. But in the end, Rohan couldn't bring himself to do it. He could only call Koichi and tell him everything that had happened. But Koichi didn't believe it at all, thinking Rohan was messing with him. To prove it wasn't a lie, Rohan went to show him the man's corpse. But when they went to look, they found the man had been drained and shrunk to palm size. Koichi finally lost his patience and prepared to leave. Rohan was in despair. Even his best friend didn't believe him. When evening came and no one was around, Rohan decided to go find Jotaro. To prevent others from seeing his back, he kept pressuring himself against walls. But when crossing the street, there were no walls around. However, Rohan wasn't panicked at all. He waited for passersby to walk by, then quickly pressed himself against their backs. Although it was a bit embarrassing, Rohan managed to cross the street successfully. He made it to the other side. But then he suddenly noticed a group of stray cats charging at him. It was the stand causing trouble again. People and animals all came to attack Rohan. Although Heaven's Door was awesome, there were too many animals. In the critical moment, Koichi showed up. He helped drive away all the animals. It turned out Koichi had been observing Rohan the whole way, and finally noticed something was wrong. He immediately had Echoes try to pull the stand off, but as the stand fell, Rohan's back was also torn off. Seeing this, Koichi had to stop the attack, and Rohan became like a zombie, only moving toward his destination. He even deliberately showed his back to Koichi. However, just as the stand thought it had succeeded, it saw something shocking. Countless hands reached out from behind, coming for it. It turned out this was an alley where you must never look back, and the stand had just looked back, so now it was haunted by evil spirits. In the end, the stand was dragged to hell by the spirits. Rohan successfully got rid of the enemy. To prevent others from seeing his back, even when
Tay, don't come up, don't come up, don't come up, don't come. Why did you come up?
What do you mean, please don't tell me.
I ran out of obsidian.
I have 0 obsidian, so what are we supposed to do?
Let me check my e-chest real quick. maybe. No, I have literally nothing.
What do you mean? What do you check your e-chest? Just break the e-chest, wait.
Wait, you're right. Oh my gosh.
So we can just place that. All right, light it. You have the flint steel, right?
You have the flint steel.
I had the flint and steel. You're the one that wanted to come to the nether roof.
I told you to bring the flint and steel.
You did not tell me to bring no flint and steel.
Okay, well, it's your problem. Solve it.
Okay, you have lava? Yeah. Wood light. Wood and lava. Wood and lava.
You're right. Oh my gosh, you're right. Okay. And?
Jisk.
Decide to what?
This is nether wood. It doesn't burn. Do you not have any other?
I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh. All right, okay. What? I have one last idea. Come over here. If you have netherrack, I know you have netherrack. You hear gas, right? You hear the gas? We're gonna place a bunch of netherrack to where a gas spawns up here. Let's not loot the chunks. Over here. Oh my god! Wait, what?
Hey.
Oh my god!
Wait, okay. I see your vision. Okay, wait, shoot at me. Where's it going?
Hey, come back! Okay, we're gonna go! Yes!
Oh my god!
Yes!
Oh my god! Oh my gosh!
Wait, no!
Oh my gosh! We actually made it through.
Yes! Oh my god!
I can't believe.
What the?
Oh no, you're cheating. You're weird. What? Hey, don't come up. Don't come up. Don't come up. Don't come. Why did you come up?
What do you mean? Please don't tell me.
So TikTok said this is the length from everyone's bed to her fridge. Let me try it. So TikTok said this is the length from everyone's bed to her fridge. Let me try it.
Ranking every way to get free Robux, starting with free Robux websites. These things promise you Robux if you do a bunch of surveys, but we both know that they just want to waste our time. F tier. Begging. We've all tried begging for Robux before, and while this could work, it mostly depends on how nice the person is. It's a game of luck. C tier. Roblox jobs. In these games, you actually get paid to play. By role-playing as a worker, players can tip you actual Robux if they end up liking you. So you do need social skills. B tier. Samsung. Now hear me out on this one. By going to the Galaxy Store on a Samsung phone and installing Roblox, you get a $1.39 coupon for 80 Robux and 25% more Robux on purchase. You even get discounts for this little gift box. And based on your country, this discount could be higher. So if I were you, I'd head straight to the Galaxy Store before 2026 because this is an S. Ranking every way to get free.
Baki straight up slept with Maria on the same bed right in front of over 4,000 inmates. When Oliva saw this, he lost it. But Kebab seized the opportunity to ambush Oliva, slapping him so hard he busted his eardrums. Then he ripped out a few strands of hair, trying to destroy Oliva's cochlea. Just when Kebab thought he'd won the match, Oliva grabbed his wrist. His crushing grip forced Kebab to let go. Oliva threw one punch, and Kebab went flying like a kite with its string cut. That's the power of America's strongest fighter. One hit knocked Kebab unconscious. Baki thanked Maria because the whole reason he casually laid in her lap was to fire Oliva up. Cold Maria blushed a little. When Oliva saw that, he bowed deeply to Baki, since he hadn't seen Maria that happy in forever. Over 4,000 inmates in the arena started chanting Oliva's name all at once. But then, out of nowhere, the pirate song blasted through the plaza. Kebab, who was lying on the ground, stood back up. He smeared dirt all over his face, completing the demon face ritual. He charged at Oliva like a maniac and kicked him so hard he flew into the sky. Oliva hit the ground and didn't move. The inmates started chanting Kebab's name again. But when Oliva heard it, he jumped right back up. He decided to stop holding back. Kebab attacked again, but Oliva knocked him out cold with just one move for the second time. When Kebab was about to give up, he remembered his old battle buddies who fought alongside him. Kebab's fighting spirit reignited. He felt loaded with power. Oliva felt it too. He slowly raised his arm. His heart started pounding like crazy. The veins in his body became stark and visible. Beneath this terrifying physique lay power comparable to a nuclear weapon. But Kebab wasn't scared because he had a secret weapon of his own. As long as his feet touched the ground, he could draw power from the Earth's core, 959 miles below the surface. He threw a punch straight at Oliva. The entire arena was flooded with blinding white light. When the light faded, Kebab was standing in the ring. Everyone went absolutely wild cheering for him. Even the US president showed up to beg for his forgiveness. Even Yujiro Hanma, the strongest creature on Earth, came to witness it. He claimed he couldn't even resist this move and wanted to hand over the title of world's strongest to Kebab. But the next second, Kebab realized it was all an illusion. In reality, he'd been knocked unconscious by Oliva. Oliva won. He's the true king of the prison, the most free man in the world. But Baki didn't buy it. He challenged Oliva to a fight. Make sure to follow me, I'll keep posting updates. Baki
Counter. Counter.
Keiretsu was dead. Even in his final moment, he maintained his fighting stance. Nobody could have imagined that someone who stood at the pinnacle of martial arts would meet his end this way. Even though the doctors had confirmed Keiretsu's death, Yujiro refused to believe it. He was furious because he hadn't even unleashed his ultimate move yet, and now he'd lost a worthy opponent. Yujiro suppressed his rage, and despite his frustration, he could only leave the arena with regret. No one could understand his grief. However, just when everyone was mourning, something shocking happened. Keiretsu, who had been dead for 2 hours, suddenly came back to life. The scene left everyone trembling in disbelief, but Keiretsu just waved his hand calmly and explained, Yujiro simply isn't human. Back in his younger days, he'd fought wild beasts countless times, but the pressure Yujiro gave off was something else entirely, like he was an alien being. If that final punch had landed, death would have been certain. So at the last moment, he deliberately stopped his heartbeat and breathing, making everything look like he'd actually died. But here he was, still alive and well. Keiretsu considered this a victory for martial arts. Over more than 100 years, through relentless training, his body had become frail, but that was actually the perfect physique for martial arts. He'd spent years mastering defensive techniques, only to discover that the ultimate defense was playing dead. In this world, every battle ends when one side dies. So he invented a technique of feigning death. It might seem cowardly, but it resolves all conflicts. This was the true ultimate technique. Meanwhile, Yujiro Hanma had also learned that Keiretsu hadn't actually passed away. He came to the arena alone, staring at the battlefield from earlier that day, lost in deep thought. Suddenly, Keiretsu appeared there too. He spoke his mind. This was the most incredible fight he'd experienced in his entire life. Even though he couldn't defeat Yujiro, it was still valuable training for him. Keiretsu bestowed upon Yujiro the title of World's Strongest, but Yujiro turned it down. The only thing he craved was a fair fight and evenly matched opponent. Fame and money meant nothing to him. As Yujiro turned to leave, Keiretsu called out to him, in 100 years, let's settle this once and for all. And next up in the arena, Baki versus Muhammad Ali Jr. Who will come out on top? Keiretsu was dead. Even in his final moment, he maintained
That's what it freaking sounds like to me right now. All I hear is freaking that, bro. That's all I hear.
Alberto, who did this to you? Oh my goodness, Alberto. Alberto, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Let's do this.
Like, how do people...
Literally? Like I can edit? That's right. I can do that too.
I swear I could do way better.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast! This is honestly not too bad. No M. No R.
What do you mean it's not bad? You just got rid of 2.
Yellow B. No, it's no team.
Break. B-E-B-E-B.
Stop! No way. You know what you got? Green! Green!
Oh!
No other B. You really thought it was gonna be a yellow B, but yellow E!
No way.
No other B.
B-E-E-N-S. Beans.
Beans.
He ate a lot of beans.
No N, no S.
That was weird. Okay. Beads.
No D, no S.
Beef?
No T, no H.
Beelp.
Beep. Esther.
Yeah?
No L. Yellow P.
Beepo.
Beepo. Green P. No O.
What? Oh, beeped. Honk honk like a
No,
car.
it's because it's not Mr. Beast.
Oh.
No T.
Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast.
Forsaken just announced even more lore for their characters, this being for Builderman and Dusakar. So here's a small breakdown on their connections. Now, Builderman and Dusakar were some of the first Robloxians and helped build modern-day Robloxia. Now, Builderman is humble to the end though. Even with all his wealth and power, he still cares for the people around him, similar to Dusakar, although he's a bit of a different case. Now, I also mentioned in a previous video that Dusakar and Shedletsky are both very good friends, with him being with Shedletsky at his lowest. In fact, Dusakar honestly likes most of the survivors, although he does feel a bit uncertain around 2-time, which I don't blame him. Builderman is also really picky when it comes to food, especially with pizza toppings? How is this even look? Dusakar also doesn't really understand how he can eat, which I mean, I would probably wonder that too if I was a sentient pumpkin. It also says that Dusakar knows more than he lets on, keeping most information to himself to protect others, sort of like Shedletsky's connection to 1x. Anyway, make sure to go subscribe, and if you want to see more reviews of Forsaken, then Forsaken just released even more lore, this time for Guest 1-7 and Slasher, and it's pretty interesting. Starting off with Guest, we get to see that he is very open-minded and understands when people do things they are not proud of. It also says that Guest's death completely changed the trajectory of the Bacon Hair War, which had already gone on long enough. It also says that Slasher and Guest could have been good friends had they met before the war had turned Slasher into this. Guest 1-7's perception of Slasher also changed the first time he saw Slasher's face, which means that he's probably scarred under his mask, and badly, either from the war or from the Necrobloxian that helped corrupt him. And speaking of Slasher, it talks about his breakout of Area 51, which was conducted by someone mysterious called the Operator, although before that someone else mysterious tried to set Slasher free, although this one was not as successful. It also says that the Spectre's influence has nothing to do with the voices that Slasher hears. 2 times watching. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe, and Forsaken just announced even more lore for this is the Madness John Doe skin Forsaken, a concept skin created by Stars Filler content that's also based off an animated show. This skin turns John Doe into Hank from the animated show Madness Combat, which I know nothing of, so I'm sorry in advance if I missed any details or references. This skin wears red-tinted goggles, has a bandana around his head, and a very apocalyptic clothes. He also wields a katana and has a weird spiked growth on his arm. He slashes his katana when he uses M1. For corrupt energy, he sticks a spiked arm into the ground, releasing these custom-looking spikes. And for digital footprint, he again sticks his arm into the ground, having custom red electricity for his puddle. He also has a custom kill animation for survivors, where he picks you up, throws you into the air, and yeah, you're not surviving that. This skin also has a custom intro and outro, along with other animations all created by Stars Filler content. So Ghost, Shedletsky, and 1x have a lot of lore between each other, and the Forsaken developers recently just leaked a ton of it. So here's some of the highlights. First off, 1x hates Shedletsky, seeing him as inferior to him, and Shedletsky fears 1x, knowing that he's staring at a piece of himself. A piece of his hatred. Although, on a lighter note, Shedletsky engaged in a chicken eating contest before being taken by the Spectre, and won it, which is probably another reason he has it as an item. Shedletsky also trusts Builderman and Dusakar the most out of survivors, although he trusts Dusakar more. And even then, he tries to avoid telling people about his knowledge of 1x, because he's afraid of his past and what people could think of him. Now, 1x's name was also echoed throughout Robloxia in his initial rise to power, and in a hypothetical world other than Forsaken, 1x and Shedletsky would battle on the sword fight on the heights, with Shedletsky wielding the Illumina sword, and 1x wielding contorted demon shanks. Now, at the end of the lore, it says that hatred speaks louder through actions rather than words, and this could just be a one-off sentence to end the article, or it could secretly be a connection between 1x and Shedletsky's deeper lore. But Forsaken is finally going to have their Christmas update, and it might be sooner than you think. You see, Forsaken has recently announced that they'll be having a small content update around Christmas time, with some skins, cosmetics, and other things, as well as something called Chris-saken. For the next 12 days, the Forsaken devs will be posting lore about each survivor and killer. For example, Shedletsky and 1x are today's, to talk about everything from Shedletsky winning a chicken eating contest to 1x's connection to Shedletsky, which honestly, this is some really interesting stuff. Now, the date for the event is currently December 25th, but is subject to change, so it could come a lot sooner or later, so go subscribe, and let's just hope the update's soon.
Make a small nuke. Okay, that's a pretty simple request. Although now I'm thinking about it, I don't know how I'm going to be able to pick this thing up and move it into a portal without exploding. But you know what? We'll worry about that problem when we get to it. Okay, I think 8 is a good size for the initial portal, right? So now if we take this all the way down to a 1 and have that be our exit portal. Okay, all right. Now it's just a problem of trying to get this through there. I do have an idea. So all we have to do is push a nuke from here to there. If this works, I am a genius. Cylinder small. Wait. Okay. Watch me cook. Okay, here we go. Cylinder small. And we push that over. All right. And then we repeat. And then we just need a big platform. Wait, this one's perfect. Wait, platform. Boom, like so. Pick this up, put it onto the cylinders. Oh my god, this could work. Oh my god, wait, there's no way. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Okay, can we? Oh my god. Boom. Okay, now please don't fall. Oh god. Oh god, it's so rickety. Look at how it's moving back and forth. All right, you know what? Screw it. Just push and see what happens. Go. Oh, wait, no way. Oh my god, it's like half through. Wait. Okay. This is actually possible. Oh my god. my god, this is the most precarious thing I've ever done. What happens if we lightly nudge with the cylinder? Oh my god. Oh my god. Go! Go! Wait! Is it through? It's not got collisions anymore. I think it might have gone through. Wait. Oh my god, I think it went through. I think it went through. I think it worked. Oh my god, wait. Is that my tiny little child? My little nuclear child? Okay, would it be possible? Would it be possible to dev manipulate this guy out of here without it exploding? This is gonna be a challenge. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh my god, we've done it. We've made a tiny little nuke. I mean, you know what this means now, right? You know what this means now. How far can we go with this? So the question is a smaller nuke gonna lead to a smaller explosion? I do wonder how far we can go. So I can't just stick this thing through here, right? What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What happened? What happened? Make a small nuke. Okay, that's a... Can I play with you? So I am a YouTuber, and I get comments like this all the time, and the answer is yes. Well, no. Let me explain. Being a YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers means there's hundreds of thousands of people that would be interested in hopping on a game with me. And while I am honored, it would just be impossible for me to be in 1,000 places at once, right? So why do I say yes? Well, I had to think about it, and I think I found a way to do it. This is the Bammy Companion mod. It's a Bonelab mod that adds an alive little Bammy that can play the game with you. You can take him anywhere you go, he will actually follow you, and he'll also protect you from danger. But the best part about this thing is that you can own one in real life using this QR code on screen or the link in the top. This gun defies the laws of physics. So this is the admin gun. It's one of the most iconic weapons of all time, and it's a gun that shoots a little faster than most. This thing is so powerful that if I hold it with 2 hands, the recoil can literally lift me off the ground. But this thing also has a special place in my heart because it's one of the first mods I covered that went super viral on my channel. So I was genuinely blown away when I saw this. This is the BAM edition of the admin gun. This thing was made by the Bonelab creator Bluescream, and it has some hidden abilities that I need to show you guys. First things first, we have this cute little weapon charm, which I think is adorable. Next, if you take your other hand and grab the barrel of the gun, you can make a BAM explosion. And you can just keep doing this. This is gonna be so annoying in Fusion, but I genuinely don't care. That's so Another feature this thing has, which I haven't really seen much in any mods, is it's 0 gravity. So this thing is just going to keep flying through the air indefinitely, I think. Perfect for displaying the use code BAM, which you should definitely do in the MetaQuest store for 10% off any game. Very convenient. Again, huge thanks to Bluescreen for making this. It is genuinely so cool because I may have just ruined one of my favorite games of all time. So right now we are in Bonelab, a game that lets you do pretty much anything you want. And that includes becoming anything you want. You see this is my body log. And when grabbed and pulled, it lets me change my avatar, which also changes things like my weight, my height, my power, and in certain cases gives me crazy abilities. But one day, while switching through avatars, I made a disturbing discovery. Have you ever thought about how the body log is attached to you? I mean, most people never even think about this, but there's no like straps holding it together like a watch. It's just kind of stuck to your arm. Well, turns out it's not just glue or some video game magic holding this thing on, because if we take a look under the skin, you will see there are these huge spikes just jammed into my skin, holding it in place, which is really disturbing. And now whenever I play this game, it's all I can think about, which means I may have just ruined one of my favorite games of all time. So right now we are in Bonelab. This is a laser eye brain chip, and when I put it into my brain, I now have eye-tracked laser vision, which is insanely cool. But recently I got this comment, which asks how accurate are the laser eyes compared to a regular gun, which I thought was really interesting, so we're gonna go find out. In Bonelab there is a minecart ride with a ton of targets, and the main goal is to shoot as many as you can and try and score as much points as possible. So I'm gonna be running through this minecart ride with both a pistol and the laser eyes, and we're gonna test the accuracy of a gun compared to laser eyes. Okay, let's see how accurate I am with this gun. Surely after 3 years of Bonelab, I can't be that bad, right? First targets, here we go. Okay, there's 1, there's 2, 3. Wait, maybe I'm actually not that bad. All right, here we go. Okay, 1, Oh, there's so many. There's so many. There's so many. Oh god, wait, 3. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is my time. There we go. 1. And what? And there it is. 960 points is what I got with just the gun. Now we gotta test the laser eyes. All right, back to the beginning. This time with laser vision. Boom, there we go. Didn't miss that ghost. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. I haven't missed a single target yet, I don't think. Okay, this seems a little unfair at this point. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, it is not even a challenge. Let me turn around. Hit some of the targets a second time. That right there. This is unfair at this point. I already have 935. 965. Yeah, this definitely feels unfair. Wait, if I shoot the turret on the front of this minecart, oh my, I speed up. Wait. Wait, let's just go. Let's just go. There's no targets in this bit, so I can just speed run through. No way. Oh, there's one here. And of course I get it. This is ridiculous. Oh my, okay. We have 1,700 points. Oh, okay, and I'm going really fast. Whoa, what? I think I just hit a rock. But dude, there we go. I think that's a pretty clear difference. Laser eyes is the obvious winner for accuracy here. Like, that is just insane. This is Uzi's railgun from Murder Drones, and it's genuinely one of the most powerful things I've ever held. And for something this powerful, we're gonna need some targets. If you're unaware what exactly this railgun does, then here's a clip from the show that demonstrates it pretty well. The visuals and sound design here are just so overpowering, and I've always wondered what it'd be like to shoot this thing myself. And that seems like a pretty good amount. So now if we just equip our railgun here, we can actually turn on a little UI on the side that tells us, yep, it is in fact ready. And we can also turn on a little scope here. And if we just move back, maybe go like here. And now if we just line everything up like so, pull the trigger, and there we go. Ooh. Ooh, that is that is a lot of murder. If there's any other weapons you guys want me to check out, then make sure to leave a comment because I read every single one. This is Uzi's railgun from Murder Drones, and it's genuinely one of the most powerful things I've ever... Is this good? Is this bad? This is Uzi's... It's a pretty...
This is the world's highest paying slot machine. If you line up 10 of the same symbol, you win a jackpot of $10 billion. If you line up 50, you'll land on the Forbes billionaires list as the world's richest person. And if you line up 100, you'll own 98% of the world's wealth. But this slot machine is also known as the gambler's endgame because it has 100 faces both horizontally and vertically, and it spins at a speed of 300,000 kilometers per second. For the average person, it's nearly impossible to match even 2 of the same symbol without some incredible luck. Thousands of gamblers have tried and lost everything, and no one has even come close to matching 20 symbols. The legendary 100 symbol jackpot? That's just a publicity stunt. But one of the 4 heavenly kings, Coco, decides to take on the challenge. Every time the slot machine is activated, it consumes a $1 million food coin. Toriko and Komatsu are immediately drawn to these coins as soon as they walk into the casino. They swipe their credit cards like crazy, and by the time they're ready to play, they've already eaten 500 million food coins. Coco sits at the control panel, casually drops a $1 million food coin in, and hits the start button. The machine begins spinning wildly. To the average person, the symbols are a blur, but Coco has the ability to see electromagnetic waves. To him, the screen appears in slow motion. With every press of the confirm button, 1 drumstick, 2 drumsticks, 3 drumsticks identical chicken legs line up on the same horizontal line. The audience is growing more and more excited. As the reels spin, the symbols on the far right spin faster. This would confuse most people, but there's no hesitation on Coco's face. In the midst of Komatsu's shocked expression, the wheel finally stops on its last spin. 100 chicken legs line up in a row, and the crowd erupts in cheers, as if they've just won $5 million themselves. The staff in the backroom keep replaying the footage, trying to figure out if they cheated, but all they see is Coco's perfect control of the slot machine. The 3 of them become the world's richest individuals, and Coco calmly stands up, gazing at the camera behind him, knowing that the true treasure in the casino isn't the jackpots on the floor, but the hidden area that's never shown to the public. This is the world's highest paying slot machine. If you line up 10 of the same symbol, you win a jackpot of $10 billion. If you line up 50, you'll land on the Forbes billionaires list as the world's richest person. And if you line up 100, you'll own 98% of the world's wealth. But this slot machine is also known as the gambler's endgame because it has 100 faces both horizontally and vertically, and it spins at a speed of 300,000 kilometers per second. For the average person, it's nearly impossible to match even 2 of the same symbol without some incredible luck. Thousands of gamblers have tried and lost everything, and no one has even come close to matching 20 symbols. The legendary 100 symbol jackpot? That's just a publicity stunt. But one of the 4 Heavenly Kings, Coco, decides to take. You might be.
You want me to beat Ink Games, but I can only move with the Sui emote? Is that even possible? Red light, green light starts, but I can only move with the emote. Everyone looked at me like I was crazy, but I still beat it with no effort. It was time for me to take my picture. I made my way to the booth and aura farmed with my amazing face. Now it was time for Dalgona. I was thankfully given the easiest cookie, the circle cookie. I beat it in only a few seconds with literally no effort involved. Now for lights out. I made my way under some stairs, turned into a box, and the lights turned off. I was left alone until this random player walked up to me. I thought they were going to kill me, but they pushed me under the stairs even more. Thankfully, I lived to see another day. Now for hide and seek. I was hoping and praying for Hider. Seeker would be impossible. But the front man must have heard my prayers. I was blessed with the blue pill. The game starts, and I start slowly making my way into the bottom floor. I find a wall, and I hide behind it. The Seekers left me completely alone for the whole game. It was now time for jump rope. I couldn't move with the emote, so I asked someone to carry me. Thankfully, someone accepted. He brought me all the way to the end, and we both survived. Now it was time for Glass Bridge. I went over to the first panel, and the same guy who carried me in jump rope did a multiplayer emote. I knew exactly what he wanted to do. I thankfully made it on the first panel, and we did this for a few more times. Somehow, I made it to the end without even a scratch. It was now time for the one and only mingle. The first round was groups of 1. My teammate threw me into a room, and I survived. The second round was groups of 3. My teammate threw me into a room once again, and another player went in with us. I survived again. It was time for the final game, Sky Squid Game. The first round starts, and I start emoting around. I get a few punches in, but didn't get a kill. It took a while, but someone was finally punched off. Now for the second shape, Triangle. It was the exact same as the square. I got a few punches in, but I wasn't the one who got the kill. Somehow I survived again. It was time for the last shape, the Circle. It was me, my teammate, and another player. My teammate quickly pieced him up and sent him flying off the platform. I thought we were going to 1v1, but my teammate went close to the edge. He wanted to do a speech, but I couldn't let that happen. I hit him off with a pole. I didn't win the game from luck. I was literally carried the whole time. If you want to be included in videos, join my Discord. Links in the description. You want me to beat Ink Games, but...
Today, I'm gonna be pranking my friends and steal a brain. Today, me and my friends are going to be doing a lucky block race in Steal a Brain Rot, and we're just going to be opening all of these up and seeing. Today, I'm going to be pranking my friends and steal a brain. Today, I'm going to...
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
I read who's calling out my name and asking me to come down from a tower.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Okay, well, what do you want?
Well, I couldn't help but notice that you have a Santa hotspot in your base. I was wondering if you would let me borrow that.
That brain rot is pretty rare, you know.
It's not even that rare, and look, you have way rarer stuff in your base. You've got the Lost Puggies, you've got the 25. These are way rarer.
The 25 is pretty easy to get, but I don't know. The Santa hotspot is still pretty rare. What do you even need it for?
Well, let me explain. It's going to be hard for you to believe, but on this server that we're on right now, there is a ritual enabled that lets us get the Grinch.
What's the Grinch?
Well, that's what I think it does. It's called the Grinch ritual. An admin enabled it for us.
And how do I know this isn't one of your fancy stealing schemes?
It's not a fancy stealing scheme, man. I promise. If you don't let me have the brain rot, then I might have to steal it later. But for now, I'm asking nicely.
No, this all sounds really suspicious. I think I'm gonna pass.
Are you serious? Okay, well, Anne doesn't even have the most important thing that we need. Baby Dash, on the other hand, has got 2 of the brain rots that we need for the ritual. Look, if I go invisible and see his base, he's got the Chicletera, no Altera, which